We attended a meeting when we were taken over by new management, and in the meeting, the manager snuck and slipped in there like midway between a whole bunch of other things that we had to do. And it was so funny, she did it in one sentence. By the way, we're not giving any more raises. And then she moved right on, and no one, I mean, no one even budged. They didn't even glitch, nothing, not a eye batted.
We work hard for little pay. We work hard for little pay. Raise it up or we won't stay. Raise it up or we won't stay. We work hard for little pay. We work hard for little pay.
Basically, what the Fight for 15 campaign is essentially about is earning $15 an hour. Because we feel like we are worth more. I feel like if a cup of coffee from Starbucks costs $7, that I feel that I'm worth at least $8 more. That the time that I put in, the effort that I put in, is worth more than just $8.25.
Downtown workers can't survive living on $8.25.
To boldly say you won't give a raise to anyone anymore. That I was blessed to be met by Ruben, which is an organizer with our union. He actually came to me and approached me, and he said, "Hey, you know, we're fighting for 15. Would you want to be part of the Downtown Workers Union?" I said, "Really? So someone's already working on this?"
The Fight for 15 campaign, it may just sound like $15 an hour, but when you think about it, it trickles into every aspect of our lives. So this is us asking for our freedom to just live.
$8.25 an hour is what I get, and I think that it's very, very hard to work on it. I think it's very unethical to work with $8.25, and you know, it's hard making ends meet. You know, I have to take care of a 6-year-old girl. You know, and I mean, it's really difficult for me to keep afloat with my bills and being able to, you know, pay for, you know, things that I really need. So it's like a gamble for me. You know, either I have to, you know, cut back on a bill or have to, you know, cut back on my daughter, and I don't want to do that, you know, because that's really important. But I mean, I think it should be a crime that these CEOs taking in millions and millions of dollars and billions of dollars in revenue and sales, and they can't pay their employees more than $8.25.
Black Friday. Black Friday is interesting. It's a day we all know where, essentially, I don't know if people are sure that they know this, but this is the day where we get sales and we enjoy, you know, the cut prices, and we can buy all the things that we've wanted and we probably couldn't afford before. I don't think most people know that Black Friday actually comes from the term of being in a black, point where companies look forward to liquidating without losing profit. So essentially they drop their prices to probably around what it's normally worth at that time of year, and they're able to clear out their inventory so they can get ready for the new year.
Black Friday, we had a lot of actions. We started off 5 a.m. with the Walmart workers. And we basically just supported them and marching around. And then after that, we came back and we did our other actions.
Black Friday was a very special day for the simple fact that there's so many people out there, there's so many people shopping, and this is one of the best times to get your message heard. The involvement, the excitement, the energy from the people, combined with actually some worthwhile message being demonstrated.
So from the public's perspective, they were really curious, like, what's going on? So we handed out our flyers, let them know what was going on. I actually stopped by with two young ladies, and they were like, what in the world is going on? And I explained to them that, you know, a lot of workers downtown Chicago are getting paid $8.25 or like really low wages. And they couldn't believe it. I don't know if they were from Chicago or what, but they couldn't believe it. And that's simply because they see how much extravagance is there in the city. And they see what is being brought in. They see the Burberry store being built up. They see signs that say a new Chicago. So, you know, it shocks people to see that we're still getting paid what we're getting paid.
gathered together as workers. We had supporters come out as well, and it was actually kind of cool because even at times you had people, passers-by, actually walk along with our group. But we actually covered grounds as far as, Macy's on State Street and that whole shopping area. We also had Water Tower, Rainforest Cafe, Michigan Avenue, which is a phenomenal place to shop, and also Navy Pier. Okay, now we visited these places and we spent quite a bit of time protesting, giving our chance, letting the people know that we're there, and essentially why we're here, and not just for ourselves but also for them.
We went to Forever 21. We dropped banners at Forever 21, and what I mean by dropping banners, we drop it from their atrium. So it'll say Forever 21 CEO is worth $4.5 billion. Aren't you at least worth $15? And as soon as we dropped the banner, security came by. They wanted to escort us out the store, but as soon as we dropped the banner, we started chanting all together, no matter where we were in the store, that workers can't survive on 825.
The experience was actually, I would have to compare it to the fabric of America. You have a polarization that's beginning to happen. Okay, you had people with the Christmas spirit, and they were cheery, and they wanted to shop, and all the music was playing. And here we are, and that half, or that polarized portion of the group, they're looking at us, asking, demanding, and protesting for our worth, and they felt as though we were ruining their shopping experience. And that was quite interesting. I actually even had a passerby actually bump a banner that I was holding up. And if luckily for the Chicago windy city, I was already, bracing for the wind. I braced for the push as well, or else I actually might have been hit with the, stick, which is basically kind of like, a flag stick that you will hold up for the rest of the banner. I would have been hit by that, but it caught me by surprise, because just before that, there was another couple that walked by, passers by, and she said, "Hey, what are you guys about?" And I gave her a flyer that I actually had in a card with my number and a direction to our Facebook, Fight for 15. And they stood there smiling, and they were pointing and happy. So you had those two things happening right there. You had that group that was cheering us on. You had the cars riding by, and they were honking, dun, dun, bus drivers, even a police officer. You could even see it on the police officers' faces, and they said, yes, this is well and very much needed. Okay, but then again, like I said, you had that other polarized side where, how dare you ask for more? Go get a job, a real job.
We also went to the Water Tower. There we dropped a banner about how much money goes through the Water Tower and how much the average worker makes at the Water Tower. We chanted there. We passed out flyers, got escorted out. We actually got some threats from the Water Tower that if we didn't shut up, we would be arrested. And we kept going. They didn't arrest us because obviously that would be illegal. We were on our way out anyway. And so that was very successful. And the way that the customers reacted, they were really appalled in some positive and negative ways. Some people were like, "Oh, you're ruining my shopping experience." Other people were like, "Yeah, get what you're worth," but you can expect everyone to understand where you're coming from if they're not in your shoes. We dropped a banner in State Street Macy's at the top, which Terry Lundgren, the CEO of Macy's, he makes $8,485 an hour. And the average Macy's employee makes about $10, $11 an hour. And so Basically, we were just going all around, trying to get customers to support, trying to get, the community to support. We stepped out with different organizations that came out to support us.
One McDonald's we stopped in, the managers were actually clapping. They were smiling and they didn't even think of pushing anyone out.
As we were chanting, there were managers back there that were chanting with us. And that shows you right there that they're not getting paid enough either. The managers are probably only making $1 more than the regular employees. So you're getting employees who's getting $8.25 and managers who's getting $9.25. So everybody basically were in support. They didn't even stop us. It actually took for Navy Pier security to come and find us.
Hey, hey, ho, ho.
My name is Victor Perez. I'm a researcher for this campaign. We're here because we're fighting for a fair wage. We believe that these companies are wealthy enough that they can change their practices and give workers an actual living wage. The current wage of $8.25 an hour is simply not enough to survive. A lot of these people have families. These are not teenagers that work at these places, and they depend on the wages for food, for housing, for all of their necessities. $8.25 represents, if you're lucky to work 40 hours, you're making $16,000 a year. And math just does not add up. And we believe that there's enough wealth in the city and in this industries to pay workers living wages.
It can always be bigger and it can always be better. You know what I'm saying? We still recruiting more people. And we will be out here until we get what we feel we deserve.
And it looked like some people walked out. Is that what it just happened?
Yes, he did. A lot of people walked off the job because they think it's unfair with themselves. And we're out here to protest and work with them as far as not being against them.
Did some of the store workers come out? They were cheering for people coming out of the store.
Yeah, we had people cheer for us. I actually had a lady ask me a question, and then I was just explaining why we're out here and why this isn't unfair. So after just doing that, like you talked to the gentleman over there, they profit lots and lots of money from our hard work while we just get basically chump change. Some of us can't get good health care. We can't see doctors just like if we want to. We go to the hospital with the idea of the last thing I need is another bill.
We're also fighting for our neighborhoods, which is actually right here in Chicago, but that's just a start. Okay, we're talking about the world community as a whole. You see, because as you fight for a minimum wage of $15 an hour, you actually have people that can spend more money. Then as they spend more money, that creates more jobs. As you create those jobs, you can grow a city. Okay, and when you grow a city from the bottom up, okay, everyone is elevated. No one is pushed down, everyone is elevated. And then when you have someone reaching down to pull up, we can all get up together. And that should reverberate around the world.
We all just, came together, connected, and it was just like an energy that was there where we were just unstoppable. You couldn't stop us. We knew what we came for, and we're gonna get it. And no matter who was upset about it, we have very legitimate reason to go out and do what we were doing.